We don't really know what they look like. They're so advanced to us. Gods, sure, could be at that level. They might as well be gods. They're so far advanced. I don't think they need craft to get here. That's some kind of a bauble. That's something to get us interested. Hey, look at this. That's why we maybe have so many of them. They don't necessarily crash. That appears to be a crash. Something that's always been here. I'm not entirely positive they have our best interests at heart. I'm not sure we're ever going to understand it.
I tend to agree with you. I have many thoughts on this, and this is one of the other things I came into knowledge of while at my work at DITRA before I lost my job. Just coincidental, the person in charge of collecting all of the information from DITRA dealing with extraterrestrials and, as he put it, quote unquote, little green men, happened to sit next to me at my computer terminal. Interesting fact for you was that he came into the old atomic energy documents from way back when, and there was intelligence and information in those that discuss what you said, which is this has been around with them, and that even back then they had a similar outlook that this isn't exactly for our benefit. You get into, and again, I don't want to go too woo. I want to really avoid the woo, but we're going into hypotheticals, and I try to keep all options open. You're right. Theoretically, they don't have to come here. I mean, we're working with Neuralink, we're projecting thoughts, we're doing all of this, dreams, you have MK Ultra, you have all of this stuff throughout the history, and all of our intelligence agencies never get rid of that capability. They only get better at it, and they only get better at hiding it. But if somebody's able to put a thought in your head, George, and tell you build this craft, yeah, you're the one who built it, but the thought came from somebody else. And now you start to get into places that are purely hypothetical, and I'm not even saying I believe them, but it's clear there's something to this.
Like thoughts as intruders from a non-human intelligence, having humanity do the bidding that they want without direct knowledge that it's being asked by someone else. And we're talking about that, right?
Theoretically, that's a possibility, 100%. I think on Joe Rogan, he mentions like artificial intelligence influencing humans to continue to create artificial intelligence, and just round and round.
Yeah, the metamorphosis philosophy that Rogan talks about, it's really beautiful.
I mean, I keep all options on the table. What I know is these things are real. They exist. We've had them. Other nations have them. I know that in some way, shape, or form, they appear in a physical sense. I know that they have an interest in people, and I have a strong belief that they have an interest in certain families. I don't know, but what I do know is that as a democratic republic and a nation that votes for our elected leaders and leaders that are supposed to provide us information, we're not fulfilling our obligation in our Constitution because we're not voting with information. We are lying to ourselves.